What's up, guys? It's Warren here from Blue Cloud Creation X, and today I'm going to go over part 3 with you for our Block Breaker series. I'm just going to quickly go over part 2. So in the last tutorial we broke the block when the ball collided with one of the blocks. So I'm just going to show you as it hits, gets destroyed, but you can see our paddle doesn't move at all. We have no control over it. So in part 3 I'm going to move the paddle left to right, so we'll be able to play or to be play in the future. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll create a paddle script. We can just right click and create a script, but now I opened it up in Visual Studio Code, and the first thing I'm going to do is deactivate this ball. I'm going to deactivate this block just to make things easier to understand. I'm going to serialize field. So this is very similar to public making a variable public, but it doesn't allow any access to its class. So it's still private, it just has access in the inspector. The inspector is this here, and I will show you later. So we're going to create a float. We'll call the screen width in units, and basically our screen width in units is our screen. We go here, I'm going to let's just wait for this. I'm going to my main camera, and we can see that our screen, our size is 5. So what I'm going to do is, our ratio is 4:3. What I'm going to do is make this 6, and I also want to move this camera. Let's move it right in the left hand bottom of our canvas. So this should be 8 and 6, and then our paddle is 8, so it's sitting perfectly on the line, so that's fine. So if you see, our main camera is size 6, so because our aspect ratio is 4:3, that means from here to the top is 6 based on the size, and the bottom from here to here is 6. So our total height is 6 and our total width is 16. So I'm going to initialize our screen width in units to 16. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new vector 2. I'm going to call this I think we should call this paddle pause for the paddle position. So vector 2, and in our vector 2 I'm going to initialize this to our paddles x, and I'm going to be lazy and copy, paste, change this to y, and then we want our transformed position. This is basically the position of our paddle. So we go here, say we're using this transform, and we use this component transform, and then we use this position here. So transform the position, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, because what we want to do now is, based on our mouse's position, we want our paddle to follow it. So the way we do this is, in every frame, which is our update, we we're going to say input. We want our mouse position, and then this will give us our mouse position, but not in units. So what we want to do is we take our screen, multiply this by, this is wrong, and multiply this with our 16. Also, we didn't initialize this, so that should sort that out. So what will happen now is we'll see our pedal. Also, we didn't attach our pedal script to our pedal, so there's it here. And our serialized field is basically, as I said, it's like public, but this is the inspector where you can change the value here instead of going into the code and changing it. So if we run this code, we can see that our pedal follows our mouse, but what's happening is that we want it here. We don't want it to move in the Y axis, so we just need to move it left and right. So the way we do this is take this out, we use our pedal pause, and we'll just change the X value here. So if we run this, we can see that even if we move up in the Y direction, our pedal just stays in our X plane. So the next thing we need to do is we need to stop it because it's moving beyond the screen. We need to stop it here and we need to stop it here. So another way we can do this is using math clamp. So let's clamp it. So basically math clamp says I'm going to take a value and I want you to give me limits to where this value will be prevented from its limits. Basically its lower limits and its upper limits. So let's call this min x, and we'll call this max. Max x, let's go up here, let's serialize min and max. Oh, excuse me. So let's go into our code. You see our serialized fields should pop up here. Let's wait for it. So our min value will be our pedal. So let's just move our pedal minus 0.5. So move it to the end here. We see that this is 2. Why is this 2 and not 0? It's because our pedal, let's make this 4. Our pedal is 4 in width. So if we go to our middle, let's see that it starts at 0, it ends at 16, so that means our width is 16. So what we want to do is here we equate this to 2 and 14. So let's just put this back to 0.5 in y, so it sits at the bottom. And then we'll put this at 2 and 14. So if we hit play, we'll see that it follows the mouse and gets clamped on the X and on the min and max. So this will allow us to play the game properly without it going past the screen, and sits in the X axis, only moves in the X axis. And yeah, that's it for the tutorial, guys. Hit subscribe for more for part 4 next. And also you can play my first game in the description. I'll leave a link to the Google Play Store, and you can join our Discord server. I'll leave a link to that also, and follow me on Instagram also, guys. Cheers. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe.